We're moving towards persistent identity. We're moving towards a lack of privacy, really. We're sacrificing a lot of that. And I think in doing so, moving towards those things, we're losing something valuable. Thank you.
There's the notion of not having a real sense of community. And this, in a way, makes anonymous web forums almost necessary for some people. There's acceptance, cohesiveness. I mean, those are some major parts of it. People, though, they really do need a sense of community, and they really do consider themselves part of these things.
You don't necessarily have to be somebody who's under a particular threat to want privacy.
Do you feel that these environments inspire people to express themselves even more openly and feel more accepted than in first world, free societies?
Oh my God, yes. Which generally you're not going to get that in just normal American culture.
Would you say that fuels interest in anonymous web use?
It should.
How did you first find out about anonymous web communities?
It was probably through somethingawful.com sometime around 2006 or 2007.
What would you say initially inspired you to use and to be a part of anonymous web communities?
It immediately becomes incredibly personal. Overall, there was just this feeling of superficiality that we all probably felt, and that there were just sports and being normal and having a certain sort of emotional reaction to things. There is no accountability to the things you say on there, so you can say whatever the hell you feel like. And while most people on there are probably very polite in person, they aren't polite at all.
What's unique about the site is that it's anonymous and it has no memory. There's no archive. There are no barriers. There's no registration. These things that we're used to with forums don't exist on 4chan. And that's led to this discussion that's completely raw, completely unfiltered.
We're living in a culture that falsifies the way that we should actually feel about things. People are racist and people are bigoted in ways, but they also have just unpopular opinions. The real thing to put out here is that however unpopular it is to feel a certain way, that doesn't change the way that you feel. There's not really a good place to bring this up in, but there is when what you say will be deleted in 40 minutes at most. So you can pretty much entertain any idea you want. And it's a very liberating experience.
We need to peel it back, and we need to make sure that we're considering the Constitution when we write these kind of laws.
There really should be an ability to do this without there being laws put against it.
My name's Ed Snowden. I'm 29 years old. I work for Booz Allen Hamilton as an infrastructure analyst for NSA in Hawaii.
Do you think that it was wise for Edward Snowden to publicly reveal his identity versus remaining anonymous?
I think that it does a lot of good for the country. I'm not sure if it does that much good for him.
Not only did it legitimize his story and added journalistic integrity, it protected him, putting him in the spotlight. People are going to care about what happens to him. It was the responsible thing to do so that the government didn't go after the journalists covering the story.
He's not aiding the enemy, he's aiding the public. The internet, more than anything, is just an expression of our subconscious, what we're really thinking. There really should be an ability to do this without there being laws put against it. This is a real affront. I even would go as far as to say it's entirely orchestrated. There is some sort of grab for power going on, and it's making people's lives worse. What we can do about that is a good question.
I don't trust the government. And when the government tries to invade my privacy, I trust it even less.
SOPA, it's an effort to model on Communist China's internet censorship clampdown.
Britain's addiction to surveillance is shattering records. There is now 1 camera for every 11 people there.
I think the right to privacy is a good indication that we are not living in a police state, and when that right starts to get degraded, it just makes me very concerned.
So, would you say that more communities like these will exist in the future?
Well, yeah. I don't see why they couldn't. That's been going on ever since the 1980s, as far as I can remember.
Tor separates the origin and the destination of your communication. We exist to sort of restore the balance of power between the powerless and the powerful, to be able to speak truth to power. We exist to give ordinary people control over their information.